Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine. Today's topic is sacred space. Sacred space. We've been talking about all kinds of sacred things. Sacred to me is an acknowledgement, a bow, a nod to the divinity, to the holiness, to the higher light, to the higher truth, to the love quintessence that makes you you. And so we've been talking about a bowing to the self with sacred temple, a bowing to the meal with sacred feast, a bowing to relationship with sacred union. They're definitely, for me, sacred union involves every person I engage with. My best friend and I both experience and feel that every interaction we have with any two-legged is between me and divinity. And so every interaction is a sacred union, a sacred interaction where I can share more unconditional love and shake more of that in the web. And then today we're talking about sacred space because this temple is going to inhabit a space. One aspect of sacred space that I think is important to consider is where have you chosen to live? It is a choice, and you do have choices. And so one thing you can do is consider, do I love where I live? If you do, great, congratulations, then skip ahead, this part's not for you. But I've moved around a lot, and what I've learned is that quality of life can change drastically depending on where you choose to live. And parts of quality of life include how much money you spend on your shelter. I paid $945 a month for an efficiency in Austin. I paid over $1,700 a month with four other people in California. So some spaces, in order for me to live in the space and afford the area, I had a bunch of roommates. At 47, I don't choose roommates just because I like being in my own space. I'm at that place in my life where I like just living with me and having things the way I like them, for me, in my sacred temple, being able to chant whenever I want, or have it be quiet when I want. And so that for me is sacred, is having more alone time, because that's how I refill my cup. And so socialization is when I choose to leave this sacred space that I've created. But first question is, do you live where it really serves your spirit and lights you up? I love Albuquerque, New Mexico, because I pay $525 a month for rent, which feels like here's a sack of nickels and 4 peanuts, and I'm going to live in this property. It's so cheap. It's so cheap to live here. And the Magical College, the Mystical School, Rare Bird Medicine, might wind up in Las Cruces. Akashic Records have pointed to Las Cruces as one of the locations. But I don't really have any intention. Who knows? Spirit moves me usually when I move. But Heather Feather doesn't have intention of leaving anytime soon, because it's extremely cost effective, and there's a sacred mountain here, and they're amazing humans, and I love it. I love it. I've really enjoyed being here, and more of my money can go towards savings, entertainment, other things that I value, learning with other medicine people, travel, because I'm not using all my money for shelter. So the first part of sacred space is, are you paying what you want for your sacred space, your sacred home? Another part of sacred space is many beautiful souls that I know, their home, their car are full of trash. And anytime somebody gets into their car, they're like, excuse me, let me just clear out this whole passenger seat situation so that we can fit you in my car. And there's often a lot of apology around that. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry for my house. We as humans have a tendency to apologize for things that don't feel really clean and organized and sacred to be in. And I think part of that has to do with shame, and just feeling a lot of shame around the condition that one chooses to live in. You don't need to apologize to me ever for your car or your house, because I'm not judging you, because we're all evolving on a wide variety of topics. And even though I've been adept at organization and cleanliness since I was a little girl, I've always loved to clean and organize. I love to to flip a space, my friend Tam would say. I love to make a space feel sacred. I love that very much. There are many, many ways that I get to evolve. I'm having an evolution this past month or two on remembering that if I have any frustration, I need to go to the source. I have a tendency to want to process internally and not get others involved, because it's like, it's my job to clean up what doesn't work for me internally. But just remembering that I can communicate, and communicate directly with the source, is one of the ways I'm evolving, is remembering that teaching that I received many moons ago and reactivating it, So Heather has evolution work to do. It's just not typically around cleaning and organizing. Sure, could I, on anything probably we could do better. Definitely dust my car right now, you guys. Okay, don't go look at my dusty car. I could clean these baseboards. We already know that. I think about that a lot. But you know, as a general rule, my space is clean. As a general rule, anyone can get into my car. I don't have to move a single thing. The entire seat is clean. And I've been with many that they have like this shame component around this. So I'm going to say, if you're somebody who feels that your house is very messy, your car is very messy, you've had a lot of shame, there's no need to put that negative emotion on yourself. That's not good for your health. It's just important to know that this particular topic, the topic of cleanliness and organization, is a topic you're evolving on. If Heather decided to learn to drive a tractor, she would be in infancy. She wouldn't be in adolescence, adulthood, or wisdom. She would be in infancy, and she would have to evolve on the topic, and there would be much she would need to learn that are just life skills she hasn't garnered around driving a tractor. So that's how neutral this topic is. If you haven't garnered the life skill to create sacred space for your temple to move around in, you may have received teachings that said you're not precious, you're unworthy, you're not valuable. And that outward manifestation is a manifestation of that storyline that you are not worthy of a sacred holy space, you know? And so no need to beat yourself up. We just start making small pivots. The thing I keep talking about and wanting to teach on, because we have put so much pressure to make these huge pendulum swings, typically in the West, probably in other cultures too, and we don't need to make a huge pendulum swing. Martin Luther King would say you just need to take the next step. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step. We always want to know what's at the end of the staircase, but just take the next step. If your car is full of trash, can you pick a day this week and choose 1 hour to get the trash out of your vehicle? Can you choose 1 hour next week to get the objects out of your vehicle, put them in the house in a bag, and in the next week, put that bag of things away? Can you choose the next week to vacuum out your car to make it feel really sacred? Can you get some fun smelling situation for your car so it smells wonderful and you get aromatherapy when you drive around, or anything that causes this space that your temple inhabits to feel sacred, so that when you pull up anywhere, you can be like, get in, your chariot has arrived, and there's nothing more to do because it's such a prize to be in your sacred space. Can you make those small shifts and pivots to get your vehicle to be that for you? And the same is true for your home. So you can follow Marie Kondo. She's a great teacher. She follows, you know, I've studied in kind of global shamanism, and what I see universally as I'm looking at all these many cultures that have practiced shamanism around the world is they typically do have home and land blessings and clearings that they do, and they do have communication with home and land. And that's one of the things that Marie Kondo and intelligence she's bringing to humanity is about being in communication with your home. Thank you, home. Thank you, car. Thank you for giving me a place to come out of the rain, for giving me a place to get to and from with ease and grace, and really creating a simpatico relationship. She also speaks to a valuable, precious tool of ensuring that everything you have around you brings you joy. Do I love everything in my house? Do I just love it? I mean, Heather loves everything in her house. I do evaluate anywhere from 1 to 4 times per year what I have in my house. Do I love it? Do I still love this? Do I still want this? Do I need to donate this? Do I need to sell it? A lot of people feel poor because they have taken their money, their hard-earned money, and they bought all these objects. They're spending a lot of money on what they feast on, maybe not always choosing the best ingredients for their sacred temple to get vitamins and minerals. So there could be some small pivots we could make there. But they're also spending a lot of money on the objects that surround them. And most of us, especially here in the West, have so much more than we could ever want or need in a home, and so many different drawers and closets and spaces where there are things that we won't touch because we're so rich. So one of the things you can do is you can create a donation box or a donation bag. You can put that in a closet if you don't want to look at it. And every night you can choose to spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and start in one corner in one room. Do I love everything in this corner? Anything you don't love, put it in the box or the bag in the closet. And the next night, do I love everything in this corner? Until you go through your entire space. And when you get done with that boxes, bags, you can sell stuff on eBay. You can sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace if you choose that platform. You can sell stuff on Poshmark. There are lots of ways to sell stuff online, and you can transmute the unwanted in your home or things that don't bring you total joy into prosperity, into savings, into a travel fund, into a vacation fund, into a whatever it is, into something you could actually need or want or use fund. And whatever doesn't sell, you can donate and bless someone else. You can make thrift stores have more to offer so that people are more likely to reduce, reuse, recycle rather than purchasing new and using more Mother Earth's resources. You can contribute to the reduce, reuse, recycle movement by getting things out of your house that you're not using. And you can serve in that way too. You can serve the earth and you can serve your pocketbook. Woo! Serve your pocketbook. You know, get some of that money back. Use it for what you truly want in your life. Many objects that people have, we don't even interact with. And then you just got to dust them. And then the more objects you have, the more you have to think about. Oh, I got everything in that room, everything in that room. I never really wanted a very large space because like, oh, now I got to clean all these rooms. I've always liked it like a little smaller, this is my little small temple. And then I just keep this temple clean. There are ways you can make your space sacred by the efficacy and efficiency of how you interact with your space. This is something I think about often. And I spent years very uncomfortably engaging with my space. Pots and pans I've always put down below because that's what I was shown to do. And that's, I go down here, you put your pots and pans down here. I'm 5'9". I don't want to bend and stoop, especially when I become an elderly woman. Like, let me get this pot out, make some soup. You know, I want to use the things that I use most close at hand, and I want them to be effective for me to work with. I cook at home a bunch, pretty much almost all the time. I very rarely eat out. Very, very, very rarely eat out. And it's because I want to know the ingredients of what went into my meal. I want to know it was organic and pure. And even though I could go to an organic restaurant, I also want to know that my love, my energy, my delicious essence was put into the food, not somebody that's like, let me earn this $12 an hour. You know what I mean? I want to put my love and my intention in my food. My pots and pans hang on a wall directly next to the stove. And that's happened for years now with me. And I love it because I cook every day. And I cook multiple times a day usually. And so I just grab a pot or pan off the wall, I get to cooking, and then I scrub that and put it back on the wall. Another way to create sacred space is to get into a habit. We can have a tendency, if we've eaten food, we're just gonna, okay, I'll just do the dishes tomorrow. Well, you can do the dishes as you cook. Some things are real time sensitive, but I find, okay, this needs to sit on the pot for 15, 20 minutes in the pot heating over here cooking. So I'm going to get these dishes done while that's cooking. Okay, I'm going to stir it and I'm going to go back to getting these dishes done. I typically do dishes as I cook because I don't want to have dishes to do when I'm done. Usually there will be some dishes left over, but then when I get done eating, I pick up the dish that I ate out of, I take it into the kitchen, and I finish the dishes. And then I relax. Because then the kitchen feels sacred the next time I want a snack. It feels like a place that I want to go into to prepare a snack. So there are certain habits you can slowly get into. I'm always talking about these slow pivots, so we're not feeling like we have to change everything. I think a lot of people live in a messy space or a messy car because it feels so overwhelming. So you could use Marie Kondo's method, or you could use Heather's Feathers method that I often coach and counsel to use, which is to start in one room. If you feel like you have if you think you're a hoarder, or if you think you have a very messy space, and you go to bed and there's stuff on your bed every night when you go to bed, pick one space. Pick the most important space to you. Is that your bathroom? Is that your bedroom? Do you feel like you're not sleeping well? Is that your office, your at-home office? And in that space, start in one corner and go and just spin around. Woo, go right around that room. Do, 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 do. And have a trash bag, and pick up any trash. Have a donation box, a donation bag, and move any donations or anything you want to get rid of. If you have stuff that goes in another room, simply go and take it into the other room. Don't sort it, organize it, get distracted in the other room. Let me go put this in the other room. I'm just making this room a sacred space. A lot of people get distracted in the process of organization. And so donation, trash, donation, trash, donation, trash. This goes in the other room. Donation, trash, donation, trash. And so that when you're done, what's left are objects you love and what you want in the space. And you can clean that space and make it sacred. Put some sacred scents in. Put a sacred candle on. Make it feel delicious to be in your home. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. Like and comment there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Blessed be.